Cognizant to the needs of our learners, parents, and teachers, the Department of Education provided us with powerful tools for productivity that will allow us to foster critical thinking skills, problem-solving skills, communication and collaboration skills to be compassionate, responsible global citizens. Join us and discover new ideas in our series of professional development training program with the ICTS Edtech Unit and Microsoft Education Philippines. Together, we will equip our learners and empower our fellow educators for a dynamic future. Para sa bata, para sa bayan, at para sa guro. Sulong Edukalidad.
Magandang araw, Sir Wilbur po, at your service. Narito ang ETUlay upang gabayan ka sa inyong pag-aaral upang lubos na maunawaan ang iba't ibang paksa o subject. Ang ETUlay ay isang free online tutorial class na pinangungunahan ng ICTS Educational Technology Unit sa pamumuno ni Undersecretary Elaine Del P. Pascua. Ang programang ito ay hindi lamang para sa mga bata, kundi ito rin ay magsisilbing gabay sa mga magulang at mga guro kung paano nila ituturo o gagabayan sa bawat asignatura ang kanilang mga anak o mga estudyante. Sa kasalukuyan, ang self-learning module mula sa rehiyon ng Calabarzon at kilala sa tawag na pivot ang ginagamit sa ating ETUlay online class. Kaya ano pang hinihintay ninyo? Ihanda na ang inyong mga ballpen o lapis, papel o kwaderno at samahan kaming itulay ang pagkatuto para sa bawat batang Pilipino. Sama-sama tayong magtutulungan para malampasan ang mga hamon sa panahong ito. Halina't matuto kasama ang inyong online tutor sa oras na ito.
Hi, good afternoon. Hello to our parents, teachers, and especially to our learners. Today, right at this moment, you're going to learn correct grammar and pronunciation. This is Teacher May, and I am your tutor here on ETUlay. Ayan. So, parang okay na ata ang audio ko, no? Unlike last week na nagkaroon tayo ng technical problem. So, again, I would like to say sorry for the inconvenience that that was brought by my poor internet connection. Ayan, I can hear myself now. All right. So, magandang hapon po sa lahat. Pero I would like to thank Sir Madge, Sir Mark Anthony Hamisal, and Sir Ariel de los Santos for standing in for me. Alam niyo ba, if not for them, I could, the English 3 will not really have a session last week. So, salamat po kay Sir Ariel at kay Sir Madge po, no? Kasi if not for them, wala talagang session ng English 3. Pero, like what I really felt bad, pero sabi nga po nila Sir Madge and Sir Ariel, natural na nagkakaroon tayo ng technical problem. For those who are asking kung ano pong grade ito, this is English 3, okay? So let's get ready. Ready your pen, paper, and your self-learning module. Most importantly, ready your hearts, your minds, and your ears. Again, this is English 3, okay? So can we have the screen now? Ayan po. So for this week, it's week 4, no? And we will be discussing informational texts. If last week was about problem and solution, ngayon po mag-aaral naman tayo how to read and how to understand informational texts. Pero bago po yan, I would like to greet this person po. Hello po sa mga taga-Tala High School, especially po ang mga department heads ng Math, Science, Filipino, Mathematics, AP, English, TLE at ESP. Gayon din po sa faculty club teachers, pangunguna po ni Ma'am Choi Santo Domingo. Ingat po lahat kayo dyan. And that is a greeting po from Sir Jeric Navales. Okay? So hello din po sa ating mga audience and sa mga students po natin na laging nanunood at nakaabang ng English 3. Hello po kay Jasmine Rian Gonzalez. Hello din po kay Ma'am Mabizalel, Geminiano, Balbuena. Ayan, no, these are the two po na laging nakatutok sa English 3. Okay, so let's start now. Again, the lesson for week 4, for quarter 3 is informational texts. Okay, so ayun po. So I would like to present to you the learning objectives that we have for this session. First is to recognize the different ways information is provided. Second, distinguish the difference on each way of providing information. And the last is to choose the correct way an information is provided in selected paragraphs. So as you can see, we will be focusing on reading today. Okay, so wala medyong writing, pero yun nga, we will cultivate your reading skills for this session. Okay, so I would also like to greet Myla Name Catolico from Ilawag Elementary School, Mambusaw East District, Mambusaw, Capiz. No, malayo si ma'am, pero nakatutok siya sa English 3 at sa ETUlay. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, let's start. So let's have a review of our session last week. Yeah. So last week lesson is about problem and solution. And when we say problem solution sentence, it can be clauses joined by a connector or two sentences that state a problem and a solution. Now, why do we have to know about problem and solution or problem and solution sentence? It's because knowing what a problem solution sentence is helps understand the relationship of clauses and sentences to one another and improves grasping the ideas within clauses and sentences. If we understand the relationship of clauses or how sentences are related to each other, we can easily understand the details, the details and the ideas being provided by sentences or being provided by a group of sentence. Now, if you really have learned from our previous session, let's have these questions, okay? So, ang gagawin natin po, ganito. We have to identify the problem part and the solution part in each sentence. So makikita nyo, no, there is this one first part and the second part. The first part will always be in orange and the second part will always be in green. Now, you have to identify kung ang orange part ba ay problem or solution. Ganun din po sa green part, if it's problem or solution. So, let's have this example. The baby is hungry, so her mother gave her milk. O ngayon, sa orange and green, alin dito ang problem and solution? Now, reading that sentence, the answer will be the orange is the problem, the baby is hungry, and the solution is that so her mother gave her milk. So ganun po yung that's the way we will answer this activity on the comment section. So orange, tapos green, and then orange, and then your answer, then green, your answer also. Okay, so I think that is clear. Let's have the first item. First item of our review activity, ha? Okay, number 1, Misha got a low score in her test. So she is studying diligently in hopes to get a better score in the next test. Okay, which is the problem and which is the solution. Okay, meron na akong unang nakitang sagot. Sabi ni Nadine Ferrer, ang problem daw ay yung orange. Okay. So, probably yung green yung solution. Okay. Pareha sila ng sagot ni Jasmine. Okay. Tingnan natin kung tama ang sagot ni Nadine at tama ang sagot ni Jasmine. Okay. Let us see. That is correct. Ayan. Very good. Nakikita ko rin, humahabol din si Samara Sandigan de la Cruz. Ayan. Let's have number 2. Mother will go to the supermarket after she saw in a post that a community pantry set up in our barangay asks for donation. Okay, alam ko familiar kayo sa community pantry and it's really important and it got famous because it tries to help those people who are really needing goods and food, especially we are still in MECQ. Now, which parts of this sentence is the problem and the solution? Is it the orange or the green part? Okay, So sabi ni, I would appreciate if you would put the, I forgot to say this. I would appreciate if you would put the number of the item that you are answering para hindi nalilito si teacher, okay? But for this time, syempre hindi nasabi ni teacher kanina, so this rule will apply now, okay? So, tingnan natin yung mga bagong sagot. Sorry if I would not call you, ha? Medyo malilito si teacher right now kasi ngayon na lang sinabi. Okay? Sabi ni Iros, orange yung solution, tas green yung problem. Okay, I think okay yung sagot niya. But let us check if that is correct. Si Chino Jaime, ganun din. Green yung problem, orange yung solution. Parang baliktad ata. Let's see. Okay, for number 2, the answer is the orange is the solution and the problem is the green part. Bakit nangyari? Bakit ganun ang nangyari? So, if you will see, that mother's action is to go to the supermarket. And the second part of the sentence says here that the community pantry set is asking for donation. So the real problem is that the community pantry has it does not have enough supply for those who want foods and goods. So that's the problem. And mother's solution is to act, and that is to go to the supermarket so that she can donate to the community pantry. So again, the orange part is the solution and the green part is the problem. Though it doesn't sound as if it's a problem, but if you would analyze the green part, the community pantry is really asking for donations, and it does not have enough supply. Okay? Alright, so medyo nalito tayo dun sa number 2, but let's have number 3. Meron pa naman tayong chances. So due to the increase of plastics in seas and other bodies of water, more companies create biodegradable packaging. So tama yung subject verb agreement, but I think the sentence could be written in this way. More companies create biodegradable packaging. Now, which part of the sentence is the problem and the solution? Again, we're now on number 3. And teacher will appreciate if you will put the number of the item you are answering. Okay, very good si Samara. No, sabi niya, orange yung problem, green yung solution. Parehas sila ng sagot ni Toby Bautista. Okay, parehas din ang sagot kay Yana Rain Leonardo. So, pare-parehas ang sagot. Tingnan natin kung tama nga. Okay, the answer is that, yes, the orange part, isa-isa, the orange part is the problem and the green part is the solution. Okay, I think really, no, by the word plastics in seas and other bodies of water, alam agad natin na ito yung problema. Okay, number 4, to avoid getting the virus, experts advise the wearing of face masks and the frequent washing of one's hand. Ito especially no mga bata, for our grade 3 learners, no, importante na talagang naghuhugas ng kamay, no, bago kumain, after pumunta sa toilet, para laging clean ang hands natin, and we avoid getting the virus or getting other harmful microorganisms. Hindi lang naman virus ang nagko-cause ng sakit. Later on, we will understand more of that. Okay, let's see. Number 4 na tayo. Sabi ni Renzi Reyane L. Villamor, orange yung problem, green yung solution. Okay. So, parehas sila ng sagot ni Princess Abby Catalan. Okay, same kay Iros at same din kay Carl Sander. Okay, thank you for your answers. Now, let's reveal if your answer is correct. Okay. No, very good. No, by the word virus, no, we always associate that. We always associate the word to sickness. So alam natin no na yung virus, it would be a problem, and wearing face mask and washing one's hand is really the solution to not get the virus. Now let's have number 5. Father checked the roof for repair. The rainy season is just months from now. So you see here, you have 2 related sentences. Unlike 1 to 4 that you have one sentence, for number 5 you have 2 sentences, but they are related to each other. Now, which sentence is the problem and which sentence is the solution? Again, we're now on number 5. Ang unang nakita ko ay yung kay Toby, sabi ni Toby, Orange yung solution, green yung problem. Okay. So, parehas ba sila ng sagot? At secret kasi number 4 pa lang ang sinasagutan. Okay? So, tingnan natin kung tama si Toby. Si Toby, parehas ng sagot kay Samara. Okay? Tingnan natin kung tama sila. Alright. Yes. Orange yung solution, green yung problem. Ayan, nasobrahan si teacher. Okay, alright. So, comment niyo yung scores ninyo kung nakailan kayo sa ating group, sa ating review activity. If you got 5 correct points, very good. That means you understood well our previous lesson. Pero, kung nakakuha siguro 5 or 5 to 4, okay yun, no? Congratulations. Proud si teacher sa inyo. Pero if you got 3 and below, I think you can do other activities in your module para hindi tayo lalaktaw sa next lesson. Sabi ni Yana Rain, naka 5/5 daw siya. Same kay Gabriela Manila. Ayan, ang daming nagsasabi ng score. Alam nyo ba? Proud si teacher sa score ninyo. Si Carl Sander, kahit naka-3 siya, ano ba to? 3 or 5 din? Kasi baliktad, 5/3. Okay, hindi ko alam kung 5 ba talaga or 3, pero sa mga naka-3 or below, pwede niyong balikan yung inyong mga activities sa problem and solution. Okay? So, ayan, thank you for letting me know your scores. Now, we will proceed to our next lesson. Okay? So, before we proceed to our next lessons, merong tanong si teacher. Okay? So, si Randy nakaganon, no? And we can infer by the picture that Randy is a bit problematic. Randy is stressed. Okay, no? Meron tayong picture ng kape, ng laptop, tapos merong ganun. So, we can know that nagbababad or we can infer na nagbababad si Randy sa laptop kasi may kape, 'di ba? Tapos stress siya. Now, let's read about the scenario of Randy. Randy needs to read printed information about his essay. Okay? His essay is about infectious diseases. Which resources should he use to effectively collect his needed information? Okay? Again, ang hinahanap ni Randy ay printed information. He will be using printed information because he needs to have resources for his essay. Ang essay niya ay about infectious diseases. Which among these should Randy use for his essay? Okay? Can we help Randy? Ano kaya ang pwede niyang gamitin? Alin sa anin? Okay? Wait lang ha. Si teacher ay nakalimutang mag-charge ng laptop. Okay. Mag-charge na muna si teacher. Ano kayang gagamitin niya? Okay? You can choose the resources that he can use. Pwedeng more than one. Hindi lang naman siguro isa ang pwede niyang gamitin. He can use as many as he can. Alin sa ating choices? Okay? May nagsasabing newspaper. Sabi ni Chino, ito si Chino medyo maraming sagot. Let's see, research papers, essays on COVID-19, articles from a science magazine. Kompletuhin nga natin yung sagot ni Chino. Okay, sabi ni Romavin Estrella Guillermo, pwede rin siyang gumamit ng newspaper. So, among the 6 resources here, Chino. Nasabi ko na Chino. Okay, Randy could use 4 out of 6. Bakit? Siyempre, ang sabi sa atin kasi, printed information. So, for this time, pwedeng gumamit ng YouTube videos, siguro videos about science, kung hindi hinihingi ang printed information. And yung music playlist, I think hindi talaga. Kasi ang hinihingi po ay information. And we listen to music when we want to relax or we want to bring back memories of the past. So he can use 4 out of 6 resources here. Now, why did I ask you to choose? No? What did I ask you? Why did I ask you to help Randy for his printed information? It's because those resources that we chose contain informational text. Now, teacher, ano ba ang informational text? Okay, let's define what that term is. So when we say informational texts, these are texts that are used to present information, details, or facts about a particular topic or subject matter. By the term informational, we know that the purpose of the author is to provide information, details, and facts. No, sabi nga, no, katotohanan lamang. Okay? Or pawang mga katotohanan po yung ilalagay or nakalagay sa informational text. Now, before I proceed, I think this has been my rule since day one to always keep the comment section clean and decent. Okay, every ETUlay session is a session of learning and teaching. So if you have posts or if you would like to post or share to other people business opportunities, you can post that in your personal FB account or to other groups, no? Wag dito po sa ETUlay kasi ang mga bata ay hindi magnenegosyo. Ang mga bata ay gustong matuto. Okay? So balik tayo, no? Informational texts. Now, let's read the essay that Randy wrote by using informational texts. No, medyo maliit, pero I will try to read it to you because we have 4 paragraphs, no? Tapos, let's read na po ha. Infectious diseases are caused by organisms invisible to the human eye. These organisms include bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites. These organisms can be helpful to the body, but most of the time, under certain conditions, they bring diseases to people and animals that need to be cured. Okay? There are 2 ways one can get diseases caused by the said organisms. First is through transmission. Transmission happens when the disease is passed from one living body to another. Second is through consumption. This happens when a living body consumes contaminated food or water. Each infectious disease has its own symptoms depending on the organism that caused the infection and the strength of one's body against the disease. Most of the time, those who are infected experience fatigue, loss of appetite, or fever. Depending on how severe the infection is, one may need to rest, to see a doctor, or to stay at the hospital. Nagkulang ng two. Or to stay at the hospital. But one can avoid all of these through frequent and thorough hand washing. Oh, ang ganda ng essay ni Randy, it's because he used a lot of resources. So, point yon na if you are to write an essay, an article, or a paragraph, it's better for us to have lots of resources so we can put a lot of things that are true and coherent. No? Siyempre, after I read this essay by Randy, I will make sure that you really have listened to the essay. How about now? We answer the question about, we answer questions about the information that we can see here in the essay. Okay, let's have number 1. Again, if you would like to answer, Shepherd teacher will appreciate it so much if you will share to me your answers. Kindly put the number and then the letter of your answer. Number 1. What information is being provided by the text? A. Infectious diseases are caused by microorganisms such as bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites. B. Depending on the infection and the strength of one's body against diseases, he can stay at home or be admitted in a hospital. C. One needs to watch out for the cleanliness of the food that he eats because he might get diseases from contaminated food and water. What do you think is the main information? Okay? Main information po ito ha. Sorry, I forgot to put the word main. But what is the main information being provided by the text? Okay, may mga sumasagot na like Annie, Kalia, Jasmine, Jam Jam, and Megan. Okay, let's see if the answer is letter A. Okay, that is right. Though B and C are provided by the essay, the essay, the essay concentrated on the idea that is on letter A. Okay, so there are a lot of reasons we can get infectious diseases, and mainly they are caused by these microorganisms. So yun, pag sinabing microorganisms, these organisms are those that cannot be seen by the naked eye, and we should use a microscope. Let's have number 2. The information from this statement is written in what way? Or another way of saying this question, what how do you think is the information provided in this statement? The statement is, depending on how severe the infection is, one may need to rest, to see a doctor, or to stay at home. How do you think is the information provided in the statement? We're now on number 2. How do you think it is provided? Okay, sabi nila problem and solution. Okay, tingnan natin. Okay, one may need to rest, to see a doctor, or to stay at the hospital. Is it letter A? Problem and solution? Depending on how severe the infection is. So if you feel that there is an infection to your body, you can either rest, see a doctor, or stay at a hospital. Do you think it's letter A for number 2? Let's see. Okay, it's actually cause and effect. Okay, bakit cause and effect? Because depending on the severity of the infection, you may need to just have a rest, to see a doctor, so you can be prescribed, so you can have medicines to take, or you can stay at a hospital if the infection is really severe. So it's not letter A, but it's letter B. Okay, sino yung mga tama ang sagot? Katulad ni Christine De Jesus, ni Andre, ni Annie, at ni Andre. Ganon din si John Paul. Now let's have number 3. Okay, the information from this statement is provided in what way? This is the statement, but one can avoid all of these through frequent and through hand wash and thorough hand washing. So it's like suggesting to us that we can avoid being sick if we just do frequent and thorough hand washing. How is the information provided in the statement? A, sequence. B, cause and effect. C, persuasion. Okay, number 3 na tayo ha. Number 3. Okay, sabi ni Yana, sequence. Sabi ni Emmeline, cause and effect. You see, this statement is actually telling us that you must do this so you will not get sick. Is it cause and effect? Let's see, okay? Tingnan natin yung ibang sagot. Yun. But actually, the answer for number 3 is letter C, persuasion. Okay? Later on, we will encounter this. When we say persuasion, tama si Mirna, no? We are being encouraged to do something. And in this statement, we are encouraged to wash our hands frequently to avoid getting sick. Number 4, the same question, and this is the statement. How is the information provided in the statement? And the statement is, each infectious disease has its own symptoms depending on the organism that caused the infection and the strength of one's body against the disease. Most of the time, those who are infected experience fatigue, loss of appetite, or fever. Okay, how do you think is the information provided on number 4? Okay? Tingnan natin. Number 4, C, problem and solution. See, look at the statement. I think it's more of giving to us the idea of how the symptoms of getting infected is like. Hmm. May nagsabi, sabi ni Yana at sabi ni Ramil, it's letter A. And do you know what? Letter A is the answer. Why? Because the symptoms of getting infected is described here in the statement. Now let's have number 5. Which among the choices is the best practice to apply the information in the text? A. When coughing, do not cover the mouth and spit anywhere. B. Cover the nose when sneezing and always bring an alcohol to sanitize the hands. C. Wear a face mask but put it down when speaking with sick people to show compassion. What do you think? Since we knew about infectious disease, we knew about the signs and its symptoms, we know what to do to avoid getting sick by infectious diseases, which will be the statement that shows the best way to apply the information that we learned from the text. Sub number 5 ha, maraming nagsasabi na it's letter B. And I think too that is the correct answer. Okay? Napansin niyo ba kanina, meron tayong 3 questions na may mga salitang description, persuasion, cause and effect, etc. It's because informational text, like the essay of Randy, is an example of an information text. Informational text may be written in various forms. Now, ibig sabihin, information can be said in this way. First, information can be given, provided through a sequence. When we say sequence, pagkakasunod-sunod. Okay? The order of things. Or, meron tayong mga clue word dyan. Yung mga first, second, next, etc. But when we say sequence, the information is provided on its correct order. The next one is cause and effect. I know cause and effect. I know that you know what cause and effect is because we studied this during the last quarter. When we say cause and effect, the information is given by telling what is the cause and telling what is the effect. It's easy because you can have these clue words such as so, because, since, therefore, if, etc. Okay? Next is description. And when we say description naman, it describes a person, place, thing, or event na pinapakita natin or pinapakita ng author through words how something, someone looks like. And these are the keywords. For instance, such as to begin with. The fourth way information is given in informational text is through comparison and contrast. If it's comparison, it is highlighting the similarities. If it's contrast, it's highlighting the differences. Okay? So what are the keywords? You have the keywords such as same as, similar, alike, etc. Okay? The last two, I think, tingnan natin, is problem and solution. And this is the lesson last time. So we are given the problem and we are given the solution. I won't delve on that because that was our last topic and I am confident that you understand what problem and solution is. The last way of providing information is through persuasion. So persuasion means we are convincing the reader to do something or to believe what the writer is saying. So example, kanina, di ba yung text, it tells us to do frequent and thorough hand washing. That is persuasion because the writer, which is Randy, is convincing us to do the same. To avoid getting infected, we have to wash our hands. Okay, so we have 6. Let's have a um, let's have a review again. So we have 6 ways of giving information. First is through sequence, then we have cause and effect, then we have problem and solution. Uh, did I say descriptions? Again, let's go back so we can be sure. So the first one I think is um, sequence, yes. Cause and effect. Tama naman sa teacher pala. Description, comparison and contrast, problem and solution, then persuasion. Okay? So I think, so medyo marami, but I believe we can do it. Now let's test if you can detect the way information is provided in selected paragraphs. So you will answer the letter on the comment section. A for description, B for problem and solution, C for comparison and contrast, D for cause and effect, E for sequence, and F for persuasion. Now let's have number one. In planting flower seeds, get a pot and place a soil in it. Then put the flower seeds in it. Water it regularly and expose it to appropriate amount of sunlight. Okay, how is the information provided? In the paragraph on number one, sabi ni Yana E. Parehas sila ng sagot ni Lord Jan Ray. Okay, sabi nila sequence. Tingnan natin if their answer is correct. Very good. Why? Because you have the keywords such as then, diba? We also have, aside from then, is there other words here? But if we try to understand the ideas, it's telling us the procedures of planting flower seeds. That's why the information is provided through sequence. Very good. And sub number two, many pupils got sick due to the constantly changing weather. To solve this concern, the local health officials had checked the vital signs of the pupils. They also distributed medicines and vitamins. Okay, how is the information provided on number two? We're now on number two. Okay, number 2 na tayo. Sabi ni Lord, ni Lord, ni Yana, at ni Christine, it's letter E, sequence. No. O, sabi ni Ramiel, letter B, ni Dolly, B, problem and solution. I think by the phrase, to solve this problem, you can land on the correct answer. The correct answer definitely will be letter B, problem, and ayan, nagloko yung laptop ni teacher, but it's letter B. Okay, nice try. Let's have number 3. We must act now. We have to save our environment, plant trees, conserve energy and water. We can do something. Save Mother Earth. Now, how is the information provided in number 3? Sorry, it's in, okay? In number 3. How is the information provided in number 3? Okay, sabi ni Lord, it's letter F, persuasion. Sabi rin ni Chino, it's letter F. You know what? Tama sila. It's through persuasion that the information is provided in number 3. Bakit? Sabi, we must act now. Gawin natin to. We have to save Mother Earth. So the paragraph in number 3 is convincing us to do these actions. Okay? Very good. Number 4, Mount Taal is considered as the world's smallest volcano. It is also one of the most active volcanoes in the country. It is known as a volcano island situated at the center of the lake. So how is the information provided to us in number 4? Number 4 na tayo ha, number 4. Paano kaya? Sabi ni Chino, it's letter A. You see, we have the adjectives smallest. We also have the adjective most active. So it's more of description. So even though we don't know how Mount Taal looks like because we haven't seen it, if we read the paragraph given in number 4, we can have a mental picture of how Mount Taal looks like. That's why the correct answer is letter A. Okay, let's have the last number. Due to heavy rains, streets become flooded. It's not the last number pala. Let's have number 5. Due to heavy rains, streets become flooded. How is the information provided in number 5? Tingnan natin kung may mga sagot na. Sabi ni Lord, letter D, cause and effect. Si Lord, parang ang daming tamang sagot. Very good, Lord. Okay, tingnan natin kung tama din si Lord. That is correct. Now, let's have number 6, the last item. Lukban and Tagaytay are both famous for their cold weather. Due to the cold weather, locals become successful in doing different agricultural activities. Lukban is located in Quezon Province, while Tagaytay is in Cavite Province. So you have lots of information for number 6, but you have the word both. They share one common characteristic, that is having a cold weather. Okay? Tingnan natin, no? Ang sagot ni Lord ay comparison and contrast. Same for Mavi. Hindi ko na po nahabol yung iba. Pero the correct answer for number 6 is letter C. Comparison. Parehas kasi sila. So yung Lukban ng Tagaytay, parehas na malamig. So that is actually letter C. Now, thank you for answering the questions with me. That is a nice work. Now, let us summarize our lesson for today. Informational text provide facts and details and is written in different ways. We have 6 and we studied them all together today. The first is sequence, second is cause and effect, third is description, fourth is comparison and contrast, fifth is problem and solution, and the last one is persuasion. Now, I am about to end my session for today. Thank you so much for learning with me. Now, if you want to be featured next week, you may send in your picture and watch while watching our session for today, and send it to me to my Facebook account. That's May Sevilla, MAYSEVILA. I will be looking forward to see you and to feature you next week. Okay, so I would say goodbye now. Thank you and have a nice day.
Sigurado ako na marami ka na namang natutuhan sa ating ETUlay tutorial session ngayong araw. Tandaan, ito ay hindi lamang para sa ating mga mag-aaral, kundi pati rin sa ating mga minamahal na guro at mga magulang na kaagapay natin para maituloy ang pagkatuto sa kabila ng nararanasang pandemya. Patuloy ding sumubaybay sa DepEd TV para sa mga araling ginawang video episodes. Mapapanood ito mula Lunes hanggang Sabado, alas 7 ng umaga hanggang alas 7 ng gabi sa inyong mga telebisyon. Abangan bukas mula 1:00 ng tanghali ang iba pang aralin sa ating ETUlay free online tutorial session sa Filipino. I-like and subscribe at manatiling nakasubaybay sa ating ETUlay tutorial session sa DepEd Edtech Unit FB page at Educational Technology Unit channel sa YouTube at sa DepEd Tayo at DepEd Philippines social media accounts. Paalam!